Okay, People's Champ versus People's Champ. And these, of course, are more recent photos of the two of them. So, DDP, if you didn't watch his Hall of Fame 2017 induction ceremony, it's actually really worth watching. As well as the background on the fact that he started wrestling when he was just about 40. He was a manager for a little while, tried to do whatever he could, but the problem he had as a manager is it was hard for his guys to get over because he was every gimmick simultaneously. Worked hard, worked ridiculously hard. Came up with the signature move, that diamond cutter. It was the first out of nowhere move. And what made that work is you really didn't need a setup, you could just hit it. And then once he worked the hand signal into it as a way to point to the crowd, I'm going to go for it. And the crowd would be like, yeah, you're going to go for it. He really hit his stride when the NWO was picking up everybody, and he ended up laying out Scott Hall, the Diamond Cutter. One of the first times he became champion, I want to say he beat Hogan, Flair, Sting, and Randy Savage counted the mat for him. So, phenomenal wrestler in WCW. Didn't do so well when he came to the main roster of the WWE, when he was the stalker for The Undertaker's wife, Sarah. Well, current ex-wife. And then this motivational gimmick. Which, if you see him in person, he's the motivational gimmick. That's his character. And The Rock. Yeah, I don't think I need to describe The Rock. He's made billions of dollars when it comes to being in film franchises. He had a very short career in the WWE, where he was brought in as the blue chipper. I have something in my eyes driving me nuts. As the blue chipper Rocky Maivia, with the kind of little like Jerry curl puff in the fanny pack, and they pushed him as the greatest babyface of all time till he got Die Rocky Die chance. Then he was put in the Nation of Domination, which was designed to get Farouk over, but then The Rock hit this cocky heel persona, took over the Nation, and that's pretty much about it. Once he really fully clicked into, you know what, I'm going to take my intensity and I'm going to jag that up to 12. He could have gone to 11, he was like, no. Why does The Rock stop at 11? No, Rock goes to 12. And now he is arguably the biggest movie star on the planet. And DDP now has his own line of yoga, DDP Yoga. DDP Yoga. But they are both at one point in time referred to as the People's Champs. So, here is my list of criteria. Again, looking at how they were in their wrestling styles all the way through. Whether that wrestling is fake, if you want to put that in the comments. As always, feel free to disagree with me. If you enjoy it, like, share, subscribe, stand us up. So here we go. Strength. You know, I don't think anyone's gonna get back at me if I give, the Rock definitely the edge in strength. Former Canadian football leaguer. He was always this big, muscular guy. Now he's just straight up diesel. Guy is undeniably huge. Definitely takes some strength. And I'll also give an edge too when it comes to speed. Probably thinking, why am I giving him an edge when it comes to speed? A lot of that was DDP was significantly older when he first started wrestling. The Rock was actually doing kip-ups. The Rock actually was doing a lot of really high impact, sort of tremendous athlete. Endurance. Now, hear me out on this. Hear me out. One of the issues The Rock normally had, and I think this is just more the way of wrestling in the E at the time versus WCW. WCW would do a little bit longer matches, because you normally see them try to actually sell a lot more of the moves. There's a little bit more of the trying to bring the crowd into it. So DDP definitely had a little more endurance. And a lot of it because since he was an older guy, he worked hard. So he didn't have the mental endurance and the physical endurance. The Rock, especially, like when Rock took on John Cena, he blew up quick. One of the downsides of being this large, muscular individual who's explosive is lactic acid buildup, which occasionally would kind of gas you out pretty quick. Toughness, over to Mr. Diamond Dallas Page. He wrestled a lot of very hard matches. And his body took a tremendous amount of beatings, but he constantly came back. Whether he blew out his shoulder, blew out his back, he constantly came back. He had a tremendous amount of large injuries that he came back from. I'm trying to remember if The Rock really had any major severe injuries that took him out for a long period of time. I'm drawing a blank for times when he left due to injury, not out of his own accord. Striking. Now, I was going back and forth as to some of their movesets. DDP, he had your standard punches, discus clothesline, and a flying clothesline. So a lot of clotheslines. Where The Rock had a lot in the way of punches, as well as clotheslines, shoulder tackles. So he just had a little bit more in the way of striking. Plus, there's a lot more theatrics to The Rock throwing a punch. It was that rear back, swing for it, rear back, swing for it. And if he really wanted to get you, it was hand up in the air. Because, you know, spit adds a lot more power to a punch. It's like those old bats, like the water in them. So when you swing the bat, the water shifts to one location, increasing the amount of inertia, and just increasing the amount of momentum going through. So that big wad of spit in The Rock's hand, as you would go to swing it, will begin to transition through his palm and give that much more impact into the punch. Feel free to use that in your daily walks of life. So you definitely have to edge in. Now, for grappling, the Rock, he has some nice DDTs. And, of course, a belly-to-belly overhead suplex and a spine buster. But DDP had a similar series of moves. Lots of styles of DDTs. He also did gut wrench moves. He also had a power bomb. So he actually worked into more moves. He actually had a wider array of moves when it came to the grappling. By grappling, I pretty much mean that's your suplexes, your body slams. So he actually had a few additional moves there. Submission. The Rock did arguably one of the worst sharpshooters of all time. Period. DDP, when he was during his heel persona run with the Jersey Boys, he would do a figure four on the ring post. And he also had the wrist lock with the shoulder blocks. So, yeah, when it comes to their submission work, there's barely any, but there's still a slight edge to DDP. Also, when it came to high flying, yeah, there's really no La Planchas here, but at least DDP would come off the top rope with some moves. Whether it was an avalanche diamond cutter, or whether it was a flying clothesline, he at least left the top turnbuckle more often than The Rock did. The Rock didn't need to. And The Rock wasn't facing guys significantly bigger than he was, so he didn't need to do all his top rope moves. Over with the crowd. If The Rock's music hits anywhere, place is going to go nuts. If Self High Five hits, crowd's going to pop, but they're not going to pop like they do for The Rock. Ring psychology. Both these guys sell a beatdown really, really well. Oh, who's doing this? Because I love me some DDP. There's a level of intensity from The Rock that is so hard to match. When you're in the ring with The Rock, you know you're in the ring with The Rock. Go back and watch The Rock take on Hulk Hogan. They stare at each other, and they slowly turn their heads back and forth into the crowd. And that goes on for a couple of minutes, and the crowd is nuts for it. He understands the performance art aspect and the psychological aspect of it like nobody else. That's why he's actually a decent actor. Because he knows what it takes to say, here's what I'm doing. But it's not just what I'm doing. I want you to look at my character and understand, like, a grimace here or a grimace there. I want you to look at me and understand what I'm feeling. He took that from the ring, and it works fairly well in his movies. It's probably action films. And mic work. I don't think anyone's going to ever doubt that The Rock is liquid hot magma. Period. He is phenomenal on the microphone. I mean, he's the catchphrase king. He can get, if The Rock wants to start talking, the crowd's going to listen, the crowd's going to be intent. So I think if these two were to have fought, looking at where they are, I think that the WWE's People Champ would have beaten the WCW People's Champ.